Right. I'm not going to, like, mince words about it. This is going to be nice, brief, quick, because we're approaching nearly 8 hours. We've just finished 2.7 Wuthering Waves, and I'm going to be honest. Yeah, it's pretty fucking good. I mean, I kept expectations low, and I probably should have had them set a bit higher, because this was, like, the finale of Renacita. Boy, howdy did they fucking deliver. Now, I made a quote-unquote bingo sheet, a calling it moment. So I got this. And we're going to talk about this a little bit. So, spoilers, absolutely. Fair warning, obviously you know this, but let's get into it. Unironically, probably like 7 out of 10. Maybe an 8 out of 10. Was it perfect? No. No story ever is. No patch ever is. This is just a story review, though, and it wasn't perfect. There were some issues, absolutely. Wasn't 10 out of 10. It wasn't 9 out of 10. It was like a 7, 8, and we'll get into that pretty soon. So I made this way beforehand, like before I even started the story, because I can kind of tell where things were going to go. Now, I've been very critical of the Wuthering Wave story, and I think doing it like this is a lot better. Where patch 1, you always know, hey, the story's going to be phenomenal. When patch 2 hits, and we kind of skip it. Whereas like this, it's all fleshed out into one, so you can let it breathe. So let's start with the first point. Cartafia dies. It was a fake death. We all know that in gacha games, there's no death. It says here, the full Dragon Ball Z conclusion. Cartafia died. Well, with the power of Shenron, we can bring her back. This one felt a little bit less obvious, but still kind of obvious, because all we've been doing since we arrived in Renacita is eating frequencies in tacit discords and echoes that have the dark tide in them. And Abby's linked to us, our life energies, blah blah blah. So when Rover becoming a new Harbinger, it made sense, because it couldn't be Augusta from 2.6. Galbraith eats Leviathan. This was a joke one, and holy shit, it actually came true. I didn't believe this one came out. I'm going to talk about Galbraith actually. So my big issue with Galbraith was, for the longest time, every game does this. Every game is guilty of it. Here's the new character on the banner. Let's put them into the story. Now, bear in mind, they pulled it off to an extent in here. Where the first half of it was the big murder mystery chase of we need to find out the new Harbinger, because, you know, it could have been Galbraith. And I thought that was great. It gives the air of mystery. And then you slowly get to know her throughout the course of it. The problem is, we already kind of knew what she went through, because it's quite obvious early on that Galbraith is Angel, Augusta's childhood friend from 2.6. It's kind of obvious. And that's where the story's great, because it, like, okay, we know what we're going to do, we know it's cliched, we know... Basically, you can kind of tell what's going to happen before it happens, and it's still nice to see. There's a part in the second half when we get swallowed into the black tide, where you see backstory. I didn't care for it. It felt very... The pacing fell off this entire quest. Especially more so in the middle part. The middle part was the really big letdown. We got back Galbraith's backstory, and I was more interested in Chimera. That's never a good sign when the side character to the main selling point is much more interesting than the main selling point. So there was that. But the rest of it was kind of nice. I got a bit worried near the end, because for all of it I've said, Cartafia should be the main character. Yes, Rover is the protagonist, but we're seeing the story through his eyes. In the terms of the story and the world in Renacita, Cartafia has been the main character the whole time. Didn't really focus on it after 2.2, because, you know, you're not having a rerun, you're not on the banner, yeah, get out. We don't care about you. Big mistake. That docks 1 point already. Another big point was Avidius. I put no closure here at first, and then I changed it to no real closure. Which was wrong about Fenrico. We did get real closure at the end. He is dead, sadly. Big waste of a great character, in my opinion. Ripped to the goat. And Avidius was wasted. But this, I had it for the longest time. Dock 2 points. Whatever ranking I gave it, 10 out of 10, fucking 20 out of 10, 1 out of 10. It would have been docked 2 points, because Avidius and Fenrico, I felt, were wasted this whole patch, and they were some of the most interesting characters. Well, Kuro games need to fix that issue. They really do. I don't mind that Vidius died. I mind the way he died. I don't mind having dead characters being playable. You know, reverberations, that's Discord, blah, blah, blah. But the Vidius was kind of like, hey, he's here. We introduced in like the first half of 2.6. The second half, he's crazy in the basement. And then he comes here for like, I don't know, a total of 10 minutes. Then we kill him. Is what it is. Hype moment, he goes out on a big one. Once again, shout out to the GOAT. Here, I've made my dislike of Phoebe very known. I'm not going to regurgitate the points. I'm going to give a brief summary. I don't like the character cliche she is. I don't like the, I'm going to blindly follow my devoted faith. I love the church. Reveals that the church is evil. And they're trying to manipulate everybody for using religion. Well, I guess I'll still serve the church. They can't all be that bad. Yes, they can be. They're all that bad. Anyway, we rescue that, and it's I put not yet because it's hinted. We're going to elect a new head of the church. It's going to be Phoebe, let's be honest. I'm going to save this point for last. This is my most contentious point. Anyway, here, I put Falova saves us helps her for some reason. Nope, she was just a dick through and through. You know what, big props, I respect that shit. She was here for her and that's it. Now, Fraxidus do nothing. I was wrong about that. I also spelled Fractidus wrong. It doesn't matter. Here's what I mean by that. It's revealed, I love this, that for all of this, the Fraxidus are now finally making moves. Now, obviously, that means like Genshin Impact with the Fatui, they're making moves, except they're not going to be. They're going to be, once again, behind the scenes, doing all the shenanigans. But it's nice to know we get more info and lore about their plans, their goals, etc. And I gotta reiterate, I can't see chat right now because for some reason it won't load and I forgot to bring it back up in case anyone's disagreeing with me. You're wrong if you disagree, it's my video. That's a joke, by the way, don't be offended. But skipping that real quick. So I was wrong there. Scar was hyped up and teased in the trailer. Everybody was like, oh my god, Scar's back, yes, let's go! Yeah, he turned off for like 2 minutes and did like, not even that, like 1 minute total screen time. That wasn't true. He just aura farmed for 1 minute, got his ass beat in the trial character. Is what it is. Quick side note about the side character. This should be docking another point, for sure. He was introduced as a plot point and nothing more. They needed an excuse to bring him in. Here's some really convenient shit. It could have been handled way better. We see the Black Shores like come back here to help a little bit. He could have come with them while hunting Scar. He could have, like, teamed up with them. It's just explained very briefly. And it's just not. And I'm like, he's there just to, you know, help the plot along. Like, whatever. Anyway, the Black Shores show up briefly to help. Not a bingo. Kind of obvious they were going to do that, and they did. Here, they should be able to spout exposition partways through. I'm like, why is it just briefly, though? Why aren't they more of a focus, like a governing factor about it? Anyway, near the end, waifu showdown. Yeah, that's right. We worked together with waifus and beat the big bad. Anime. Then, no good eyes, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Let's talk about Christopher. Bro, all of Renacita. This is just kind of like a review in 2.7 and Renacita as a whole. Cristoforo is without a doubt the worst part of all of it. Now, at some point, people may argue, be like, no, he was very crucial, very pivotal. He just ruined every scene of his infamy. He just came in to sprout unnecessary exposition longer than he should have. That's the issue. I don't mind he came in to give exposition to the plot, like what's happening, what the goals are. The fact he'd say a line and then carry on for 5 more. It's like, hey, we're paying you by the word, and he's like, oh, bet. Now, the presentation in it. Let's talk about not just on the bingo cast. Let's talk about all of it. There was a new quote-unquote game mode where it's a first-person kind of shoot-up platformer. This could be big. I'm so glad they're deciding, you know what, we're going to take some risks now. Kuro Games are going, we're going to go, you know, first-person Wuthering Waves. Imagine how fucking sick that would be. Just imagine for like a fraction of a second, and you can't look there and go, it's pretty good. This is going to be unedited, by the way, because I'm very tired and I can't be bothered, like, doing all of it. That's why it also seems kind of rushed. I might release another one further down the line, you might just be like, no, this is good enough, and hopefully you do, because I can't be asked. But yeah, 8 out of 10. Like, presentation's like a 10 out of 10. I can rank some of the stuff, actually. Like, presentation, 10 out of 10. Story, a good solid 9 out of 10. Pacing, that's more like a 6 out of 10. Things felt very disjointed. Case in point, there was a part where we go into Septimon. And this is for all of it, really. So from 2.0 to 2.2, things felt kind of reasonable with a good time frame. And then we got to, like, 2.3. 2.3 to 2.7 felt like it all happened within a week. There was no, like, let's take a few days to wait for things to develop, hear from certain characters. It was just, hey, quick, new place, go to the new place, right, hey, go, move now. It just felt really fucking rushed. The pacing felt really awkward. It's like with the Dark Tide, we get swallowed with it, and it's like, oh yeah, time moves slower, like, in here than out there. So, like, 5 seconds out there, like, in the real world, is like an hour inside the Dark Tide. Anyway, we're in the Dark Tide for like 10 minutes. That's like 0.5 of a second. I'm like, it just went like that to try and get to the next thing. I just didn't like it. Another thing, and you can still see me. Hi, hello. The character interactions were all really fucking spawn. I thought I was rushed. I was worried they were going to rush it all, and they didn't, which is great. I don't know, like, narration, probably like 7 out of 10. It was nice. Exposition dumps, like 8 out of 10. They did the story well. Combat, obviously, the best part of the game, let's be honest. The finale, the last 30 to 40 minutes, I think, was some of the best parts of any gacha, hell, any game that I have played. It felt really fucking spectacular. I'm not going to ruin anything about that. Just play it for yourself, see gameplay of it, see videos of it, because it was truly phenomenal, and that experience can't be replicated. I mean, it can in other games, but it's one you should just experience. It was beautiful. All in all, I'm very excited about the future of Wuthering Waves. We've finally done with Renacita. That's the best thing. That's why it kind of moves up in ranking as well to an 8 out of 10. Because this is the finale. This is the end of Renacita. And it truly did feel like an ending. Everything more or less felt wrapped up. You can kind of like have your headcanons, your theories. A law viewer will probably go, hey, this is why this happened. Like, we came through Renacita because Abby was dying. And throughout all of Renacita, we just kind of forgot Abby was dying. She's whatever. Oh, I'm feeling really sleepy. It's like, Abby, shut the fuck up. I'm flirting with a new waifu here. Then you sniff at Ayuno's feet, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, Rover, I'm okay now. Sound like fucking Bobby Hill from King of the Hills, like, I'm okay, Rover. Like, come on. And I believe that was because, and you've probably seen here, let me just get off this real quick. Galbraith eats Leviathan. We also kind of eat Leviathan. We separate them. There's some other stuff I want to get into, but I won't. Just play it yourself. I'd recommend it. I really would. Now, there are obviously some complaints. I feel like the biggest one is, because you can see here, Galbraith is the banner. I didn't like how forced she fell into it. Now, everyone's made the joke of like, oh, it's all about the Rover. I think 2.7 should have been about a Rover. He is the harbinger of the Dark Tide. It's all his thing. Galbraith should have been his background character until like halfway through, like she was. And then we learned more about her. But it felt rushed and forced into your face, and like the pacing felt weird. We should have learned more about her slowly throughout the course of the story. Not just, here's everything you need to know about the character right now in these 10 minutes. Go. And then it cuts to like some big boss fight, and then you're out of the Dark Tide, blah, blah, blah. All in all, highly recommend it. Really fucking good. Great story. It's not this 10 out of 10 masterpiece people on Twitter and everywhere have you believe. But my god, if it isn't some of the best a game can offer. Yeah, it is. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how you've enjoyed Wuthering Waves. Let me know your thoughts, your feelings, because I don't want to say it's peak, but it felt pretty fucking peak. And I'm excited for the future. And I hope you are too. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe once again. See you on the next one. Stay refreshing.